Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you celebrated very safely this year for your New Year's. Hope you got your New Year's resolutions in order. I don't do any of that stuff because it's not my cup of tea. I sat on the couch watching The Twilight Zone all night because they had a marathon. However, to kick off the new year, we have one of the most bizarre stories, potentially of the year, and it's the first day. How this is unfolding, there are more twists and turns than an M. Night Shyamalan movie. What a twist! And yeah, so we're going to talk about it today. This is involving a product that has not even hit the market yet. It's something that I've made a couple of videos on thus far, though, because I find it to be very interesting. I, of course, am talking about the Mig Switch, a brand new Nintendo Switch flash cart that's been getting a lot of publicity lately. Essentially, what this is going to allow you to do is download backups, wink, wink, of your Nintendo Switch games, put them on an SD card, and then you can then access those all on the SD card by inserting the card into your Nintendo Switch and kind of like flashing it a little bit. Of course, we took a look at their website as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that website, such as instructions. You have to use a different type of Nintendo Switch ROM file than is currently available on the market in order to get this to work. It's an interesting thing, and it's something that is kind of contingent on the community aspect of things, because the community is what is going to be able to either pre-patch these ROMs so that they can be downloaded, or people will have to patch the ROMs themselves. It doesn't seem like it's the most difficult thing in the world, but it's something interesting. And of course, this is a gateway to other products. We've seen this time and time again with things like the Nintendo DS and the Nintendo 3DS. Those had your R4 cards, your max media drives. Of course, now all of those things are readily available on places like Amazon. And then you have the big elephant in the room, Nintendo. They're not going to sit by idly and let all of this happen. Well, the story isn't necessarily about the product, but how the product is becoming a reality and who's behind the product. So let's get into some investigative work here. You might remember in my first video, I talked about this Twitter account called Aftertime X. Everyone seems to be following them nowadays. They followed me. They were the ones that were essentially talking about this flash cart. They were the ones that had all of the information, and supposedly they talked with people involved in the flash cart. They talked with one of the beta testers that was used in a video. We'll take a look at that video as well, because it kind of paints a little interesting picture. But you could see here as we scroll down through their Twitter account, they talk about a lot of like random things, and that's something that's going to play a role as we prepare to go on this journey. So here, of course, is the video in question. We have an individual wearing white gloves, but here, of course, is the video in question. We have an individual here wearing white gloves, you know, no sort of indication of anything about this person, no voice or whatever, showing off the product. And it was kind of weird how they got this video, and you know how they seem to be the source of all of this information to which everyone followed. They were the ones who broke this story. They were the ones who had the inside connection. Upon first inspection, that's not exactly the most, ludicrous thing to think. Sometimes these smaller projects will reach out to other people that they know, or people that have an established website, this, that, or the other, in order to get their product out there. Of course, they showcase the product here, but things quickly get a little bit weird, and this was done by someone on Twitter who made an interesting little discovery here. So it's a bit incriminating, says Wololo. Is it possible that Aftertime X are a front pretending to be a regular news site, but really just hyping up the Mig Switch? That wouldn't be the first time. This is basically what Max Consoles was. Now, if you're looking at this from the outside, you're like, well, what does this have to do with anything? Okay, they might be a front of some sort, but you can see here that the domains and things have changed like quite a bit. They've been for basic, different things for different lengths of time, which, that's kind of a little bit suspicious. Of course, nobody has really heard of Aftertime X before, so how are they the ones getting all this information? And could this potentially have been a front, that the company that is behind the product themselves is actually behind this website that happens to be getting the information and is just going about it speaking in a third-party manner. And then things just start to spiral out of control, because you would say, well, why would somebody do that? You might remember on the website, we talked about how they wouldn't be able to have direct-to-consumer products because of the fact that it was done through a Russian Federation. It had a Russian Federation address, so that companies from outside were going to have to be the ones who were purchasing it. Well, it seems like that's also a front as well, and the company is actually based out of Germany. And if the company is based out of Germany, getting products in and out of there would be extremely easy compared to something like Russia, where most companies can't just buy a bulk order of a product, as, you know, US credit cards are not allowed to be used in Russia. But then you're saying to yourself, oh, okay, I'm kind of lost here. So Aftertime X is essentially a front for this, you know, for the people that are potentially making this product. What's the big deal with that? It's kind of just clever marketing. But you might remember in that tweet, we also talked about Max Consoles. And what is Max Consoles? And now we're really getting crazy. When you look here at Max Console's Twitter account, you could see that Max Console was an official Twitter page that did gaming news. They have not posted since September 26th of 2020. You go here, it looks like a standard sort of news website where they talk about various things happening within the video game industry. Nothing too crazy, but you might notice they have absolutely no sorts of interaction here. Nobody's liking these tweets. Nobody's replying to these tweets. It just seems kind of like a dead Twitter account. But here's where things get interesting, is with these posts, because these posts here are the ones that seem to get a little bit of traction. And this was Team TX presents SXOS version 3.0.5 beta, fully compatible with Switch firmware version 10.2.0 and Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Another great day for Nintendo modders. Team Executioner is always on the ball. So the Max Console website was actually not a website for video game news. The Max Console website was a front for Team Executioner. Team Executioner, someone from them, who we'll disclose in a minute, was the one running this website, essentially giving information about what Team Executioner was doing. But what was Team Executioner doing? Doesn't that name ring a bit of a bell? You might remember we had a bunch of memes going around when a certain individual was arrested for piracy, and they got in quite a bit of trouble. And that individual was a member of Team Executioner. You remember Gary Bowser getting arrested, a Canadian national of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. They got a bunch of charges for, you know, targeting stuff like the Nintendo Switch, the 3DS, the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition, the PlayStation Classic, and Microsoft Xbox. So the main members of Team Executioner, or two members, I should say, of Team Executioner that were involved in this ended up getting arrested. And Gary Bowser was the one that ran the Max Consoles website as a front to get information about what Team Executioner was doing out there. Now, I'm not saying that Gary Bowser, who is out of prison, by the way, he has to pay Nintendo restitution, and it's an extreme amount of money. I'm not saying Gary Bowser is behind this. I'm just saying, when you look at the track record of things here, when you look at, you know, how the Aftertime X Twitter account and website is ran as what could be perceived as essentially a front for the Mig Switch, which is a Nintendo Switch flash cart. You think of the video where there was no sort of incriminating evidence of who this person could actually be. When you see that the website has changed multiple times, when you see that it has a Russian Federation address that's obviously probably being used as a front, and when you take into account that Max Consoles, ran by Gary Bowser, did this exact same thing for Team Executioner, has Gary Bowser potentially not learned his lesson? Like, I don't know. You think about it. The man needs money. what better way than to get this product out there, to put it under a new company name, has nothing to do with Team Executioner, but it looks like there's the potential that they haven't covered their tracks quite well. And what could that say about the possibility of this device not coming out now? I think the stakes are raised. I think everyone's going to be talking about this. This is obviously a very big deal. And if he's that big of a dumbass to once again essentially return to the scene of the crime to commit the same crime again, it's like, bro, what do you do? Get an alias or something. Do it in someone else's name. Like, holy crap. So, like I said, folks, we got more twists and turns here than an M. Night Shyamalan movie. This is an absolutely insane story, and I'm very interested to see how this all plays out. I am sitting back with a bowl or a bag of popcorn. Just this is some good popcorn, because I love a good shit show, and I think that this is what is gearing up to be. But that's just allegedly. There is no actual proof that he is behind it. But if it smells like a skunk, probably not a chipmunk, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe he is not involved in this. Maybe it just happens to be a big coincidence. Let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below, though. Does this kind of make you upset? Because this could put a huge damper on the actual product itself. I guess he could just hide behind the guise if it is indeed who we think it is, Mr. Gary Bowser. I guess he could just hide behind the guise of it being, you know, just, oh, well, I don't have anything to do with this. You know, it's this other company that I have no affiliation with, and just hope that he never gets caught. I don't know, man. Let me know what you think of everything in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out today's video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will not be around tomorrow on January 2nd. We are finally celebrating Christmas. Everyone is now healed up. So I gotta, yeah, go celebrate Christmas over at Grandma's house. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.